Jealous people like to investigate and report your every move. Jealous, miserable people, they like to investigate your comings and goings and report back to their minions. Jealous people are confused admirers. They are people who sit back and observe everything you do and say without giving you any credit, without giving you any compliments, without giving you any acknowledgement, and it's simply because they want you to be their coffee table talk. Miserable people do things with the intent, or they watch you with the intent of trying to somehow bring shame, somehow trying to make you feel bad, somehow trying to hinder you in some way. When people are jealous and miserable about you and the things that you do and the impact that you're making and the way you're trying, people get threatened by somebody else trying to better themselves. And if you step outside your comfort zone and do things that make other people feel uncomfortable, they will definitely begin to become investigative journalists in your life. These people are reporters. They like to listen to the things that you do and say with the intention to report back to those who they think can be used to hinder your progress. Have you ever known of like miserable, jealous family members who will sit back and watch you from afar, and you know they're watching you from afar because you hear things about yourself through the grapevine, but they never say it directly to you? And they report back with the intention of somehow making you feel bad about the things that you do. And bear in mind, you may not be doing anything negative. You may be a woman who's trying to do the best she can as a woman, trying to be the best mother, the best worker, the best aunt, whomever. And because you are doing too much, you're trying too much, who are you to try to do these different types of things? Who are you to speak so much? Who are you to talk about these kind of things? They want to report back on you. They want to somehow hinder you and stop you from moving in that thing that you should be doing. Jealous people like to serve as a hindrance in the lives of others. And when you are doing too much, when you are going too far, they will start investigating and reporting. There is nobody more nosy or more investigative than a jealous person. And they do those kind of things because they want to somehow bring you shame. They want you to feel bad about your blessings. They want you to feel bad about your gifts. They want you to feel bad about your talents. They want you to feel bad for trying to do something different. Jealous, miserable people, because they don't have any goals or ambition of their own, they have to sit back and watch other people and spread lies, spread gossip, and spread rumors. And they're upset with you because despite them spreading lies, spreading rumors, and trying to get in the way, you still move forward. And jealous people, miserable people, do not like that. Their goal of investigating you, their goal of being all in your business, their goal of reporting back to whomever they think will hear is to stop you in your tracks so that you do not move forward in your life. Miserable people, they always have the details on other people's lives. They always have the details on the inside workings of somebody else's business, while their own lives tend to be falling apart. People like that you have to protect yourself from, because if given the opportunity, they will stop you in your tracks. They will take away any ambition, any encouragement, any drive you have to do the things that you're doing. They will take it from you. People like that cannot be trusted. And you can tell that you're dealing with an investigative spirit. That's something I just made up, but they have that investigative mentality where they're always trying to dig into what's going on in your life, dig into how are you doing this? How are you doing that? Jealous, miserable people, they always try to figure out how somebody's doing what they're doing, why you're doing what you're doing. Instead of giving more time and attention to their own lives, they're all wrapped up in yours. It's more like an obsession where they feel uncomfortable speaking to you, but they feel very comfortable speaking about you to the masses and in a negative way. I see that as a blessing in a way, because if you are not doing anything worth doing, nobody would be speaking. But since you're trying to be a better woman, since you're trying to be a better mother, since you're trying to be a better sister, since you're trying to accomplish so many different things in your life and you're trying to stay afloat, that is why jealous people investigate, and that's why they're giving you so much smoke. And that's okay. For me, that builds resilience, it builds endurance, and it reminds me that I'm on the right track. And it should remind you that you're on the right track. Nobody comes after anybody who's not doing anything. And when people are jealous and miserable, they just want to sit back and talk about all the things that you're doing in hopes that other people will somehow clown you and shame you and say things like, who does she think she is? But all that time, your influence is getting greater. All that time, you're being blessed in more ways. All that time, you are starting to have more peace in your own life. And it's simply because of those negative things they thought they could use against you, it's actually working out for you. See, miserable people, jealous people, what they don't understand is that the more they talk about you, the more attention they draw to you. The more people want to be all in your circle and see what you're about and see what you're doing. The more they try to make you look bad, the more they make themselves look bad. The more they make themselves look as if they have nothing going on for themselves except for being somebody else's business. Do you know how embarrassing it is for a woman, person for that matter, but especially a woman, over the age of 40? I say 40 because at that point you would think some women would know and have a little bit more class and decorum about themselves. But when you get to that point and you still are a researcher, you act like you're a part of the FBI, just digging into other people's lives just because you're trying to stir up some kind of issues in other people's lives and it backfires on them. And then people wonder why their lives are going down fast. It's because they're trying to mess with yours. People like that will never have any peace, never have any joy. They will never truly succeed in the things that they try to do simply because they keep trying to come after you. People who are trying to stir up drama in the lives of other people just because, those type of people never succeed. When people come at you about things that have nothing to do with them, simply because they see you doing something that is good for you, but it's outside the box, it's different. They're not used to seeing you in that light. They can get very uncomfortable with your progress. See, a jealous person, a miserable person, they don't like to see people striving to do better. They feel more comfortable with people in trauma. They feel more comfortable with you as long as you are not trying to do anything. As long as you're stifled and you're like fearful of everything, they absolutely love you. But the moment you're like, you know what? I'm tired of living this way. I'm tired of being this way. I'm tired of wondering if I'm going to step out and find out. I'm going to try something new. Now it's like, okay, I got to investigate and see why she's doing this, how she's talking like this. And I know for some of us as women, especially us more reserved, more quiet girls, or people are perceiving us as quiet, when they see us doing things and saying things, it's like they got to run and tell somebody. I'm going to tell her. I'm going to tell her husband. I'm going to tell her dad. I'm going to tell her mom. And what is that supposed to do? Running and telling somebody what somebody else is doing in their own lives, that does nothing but elevate that person. It's giving them the opposite of what they want. They don't realize every time they put their mouth on you, they're actually elevating you in the eyes of other people. You might not be elevating yourself, but they're doing it for you. It's free publicity. So I look at having, jealous people, miserable people in your circle, and you should not have those kind of people in your circle. But people who are just bitter and miserable and just busybodies, I cannot stand that kind of thing. And if you are dealing with busybodies in your own life, where every time you make a move, you got somebody in your ear saying, so I heard you was doing this, what's going on with that? And it's not anything negative. You could have gotten a better job. You could have moved to a different area. You could have stopped a friendship, a relationship, what have you. And you have somebody in your ear saying, well, I heard this happen. What's going on? Let's start with the first part. You heard. Where did you hear this from? I can't stand when people start conversations like, I heard. That goes to show me that somewhere, somehow, there's an investigator in my life that I need to get away from. Stay away from people who get around you with the intention to just investigate and be nosy in your life. Those type of people are jealous, miserable, negative people that you need to stay away from. I do not like nosiness. I do not like reporters. If you're going to report about me, report something that, is positive and spin it in a positive light. And see, jealous, miserable people, they are masters at knowing how to spin the positive into a negative. They are the ones who will see you maybe working hard in your career, working hard in your business, doing things that are actually going to help you and your family, and they'll spin it around to say something to the effect like, oh, well, this must be happening because she always working, or this is always happening, or they always doing this. It's something negative, a miserable, and forgive me if I'm a little bit passionate, but I cannot stand nosy people. I cannot stand busybodies who always have their mouths on somebody else, especially when they are the type of people that people really secretly do not like, but they tolerate. It's always those type of people. So when you're dealing with investigators, because jealous people like to investigate and speculate on the things that are happening in your life, just know that you are doing something right. Nobody comes for somebody who's not doing anything or accomplishing anything great in their life. And do not let it distract you, because I know that when people try to attempt to sabotage what you're doing simply because you're doing something that's uncomfortable for them, simply because you're doing something that, is outside of the bounds of how they see you, because like I've said in previous videos, some people are only comfortable with you when you lack self-esteem, when you lack faith, and when you're not trying to do anything for yourself. But when you step out of that and you have bold faith, you have confidence, and look, you just want to try. I want to try something. There will be people who suddenly don't like you and take issue with you simply because you no longer want to be stuck, simply because you no longer want to live in fear, simply because you no longer care what they think. There are some people who have so much of a desire to have control over you that the moment you say, I don't care what you say, I'm doing what I'm doing, they don't like you. And that's when the investigation starts. That's when the rumors start. That's when the lies start. That's when the trying to stir up things in your relationship starts. That's when trying to stir up drama in the family starts. That's when you get so busy doing all these things that you had no idea you were doing. They will act like you are going around terrorizing your city simply because you're doing something good. People who are jealous and miserable, they hate to see anybody, especially jealous, miserable women. They don't like seeing other women shine. They don't like seeing other women elevate in a positive way. And let me speak a little bit, because I have gotten requests about this, and I'm going to do a video on its own about the older women being jealous of the younger women. I have to say that there are some older women, not all, but there are some older women, because they have kind of an old school mindset where they don't realize that because of how the world is today, the world is crazy still, but because of the different opportunities as far as technology wise, as far as business wise, how women are becoming more savvy, a lot more women are choosing to do things easier if they can and not the hard way. And you have some older women who will see younger women thriving in different areas of business, finance, what have you, and they can't stand it. They will hate the fact that you have figured out an easier way to do the thing that took them 20 years to get or to learn. And that's their problem. You are not obligated to do things the hard way simply because doing it easier makes somebody uncomfortable. Jealous women like to see other women struggle. They like to see other women down bad. And when you don't give them that opportunity to see you in that light, they will not like you. And that's their problem. You are not obligated to struggle. You are not obligated to have depression. You are not obligated to have anxiety or be anxious simply because people are bothered by how you move in your life if you're doing things that are going to make it better for you. Mental illness in women, that is a real thing. And some people have normalized women, people in general, but I speak to women. Some people have normalized seeing a woman overly stressed, mentally unstable, falling apart. And unfortunately, in our community, we tend to look at things like that as like a sign of strength. But actually, it's a sign that you're about to fall apart and you need to slow down. And people who are jealous of you, if you don't give them that opportunity to see you falling to pieces simply because you're making decisions for your life that's going to allow you to rest and allow you to actually think before you make decisions, they don't like you. And that whole thinking before you make decisions things, when you actually have the opportunity to think about the things you want to do before you do it, you are less susceptible to people manipulating you, taking advantage of you, and overall making your life miserable. And who do you think doesn't like that? Jealous, miserable people. People who want to swoop in and distract and destroy everything that you are working so hard toward. If you are able to rest and think clearly, they know that they will not be able to get over on you the way they normally are. And that's where their investigation continues. So be mindful that the more you do better, and this is the whole message. If you watch this to this point, I appreciate you. But the point that is being made, the overarching theme, is that the better you try to do in your life, the more you're going to have people investigating, reporting, being jealous, being haters, and trying to sabotage and distract you at every moment. It just comes with the territory. Unless you plan to do nothing in your life, you have to anticipate having haters, negative spirits, the devil, whomever you would like to say, come at you. That is a very much real thing, and they'll use whoever to do it. So don't be surprised and keep moving forward anyway. All right? Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comments section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.